It was a cold, dark night in Berkeley, California, February 4th, 1974. A seemingly ordinary evening for 19-year-old Patricia Campbell Hearst, heiress to a vast publishing fortune, was about to shatter into a nightmare that would captivate a nation and redefine the boundaries of victimhood and complicity. As she and her fiancé Stephen Weed settled into their apartment, the tranquility was violently interrupted by a group of armed intruders, members of the Symbionese Liberation Army, or SLA. Their target, the granddaughter of William Randolph Hearst, a symbol of the establishment they so vehemently opposed. What followed was not just a kidnapping, but a psychological odyssey that would blur the lines between captive and captor, leaving a legacy of questions that resonate to this day. Before we delve deeper into this extraordinary tale of radicalism, wealth, and identity, remember to comment, like, share, and subscribe to the Calendar of Crime so you don't miss future episodes of our investigations into history's most compelling criminal cases. The initial moments of the kidnapping were brutal and chaotic. Patty and Stephen were dragged from their apartment, Stephen beaten severely, while Patty was forced into the trunk of a car. The SLA, a small self-proclaimed revolutionary group, had meticulously planned their abduction, seeing Patty not as an individual, but as a pawn in their war against what they perceived as the fascist capitalist state. Their demands were clear: the release of 2 imprisoned SLA members and a massive food distribution program for the poor, funded by the Hearst family. For weeks, Patty was held captive, blindfolded, and confined to a small, dark closet. This period of sensory deprivation, psychological manipulation, and constant fear was designed to break her spirit and reshape her identity. The SLA members, led by Donald DeFreeze, known as General Field Marshal Sink, subjected her to their radical ideology, forcing her to listen to their political diatribes and participate in their discussions. The isolation and terror were profound, creating an environment ripe for what would later be described as Stockholm Syndrome. The Hearst family, desperate for Patty's safe return, attempted to meet the SLA's demands. They initiated a multi-million-dollar food distribution program, distributing food to communities across California. However, the SLA deemed their efforts insufficient, and the situation escalated. Then, on April 3, 1974, a shocking audio tape was released. On it, Patty Hearst, now calling herself Tanya, announced she had renounced her former life and joined the Symbionese Liberation Army. She condemned her family and embraced the SLA's revolutionary cause. The world watched in disbelief as the heiress appeared to transform into a radical guerrilla. Was this a genuine conversion or the ultimate manifestation of coercive persuasion? Just 12 days later, on April 15, 1974, the transformation seemed complete. Patty Hearst, armed with an M1 carbine, was captured on surveillance footage robbing the Hibernia Bank in San Francisco, alongside other SLA members. The image of the once privileged socialite, now a gun-wielding bank robber, became an iconic and disturbing symbol of the era. This act solidified the public's perception of her as a willing participant, rather than a victim. The FBI launched a massive manhunt for Patty and the remaining SLA members. The chase culminated in a fiery shootout in Los Angeles on May 17, 1974. 6 SLA members, including Donald DeFreeze, perished in the inferno. But Patty and the Harris couple, Bill and Emily, were not among them. They had escaped, continuing their life on the run, committing further crimes and evading capture for over a year. Finally, on September 18, 1975, after 19 months as a fugitive, Patty Hearst was apprehended in San Francisco. Her arrest marked the beginning of a highly publicized trial that would delve into the complex psychological aspects of her captivity. Her defense team argued that she had been brainwashed and suffered from Stockholm Syndrome, a psychological response where hostages develop a bond with their captors. The prosecution, however, maintained she was a willing participant in the SLA's criminal activities. The jury ultimately rejected the defense's arguments, and on March 20, 1976, Patty Hearst was convicted of bank robbery and sentenced to 7 years in prison. Her case sparked a national debate about free will, coercion, and the nature of justice. She served 22 months before her sentence was commuted by President Jimmy Carter in 1979. Over 2 decades later, in 2001, President Bill Clinton granted her a full pardon, officially closing one of the most bizarre and controversial chapters in American criminal history. The story of Patty Hearst remains a compelling and unsettling examination of identity, ideology, and the profound impact of extreme circumstances. It forces us to confront uncomfortable questions about victimhood, agency, and the power of psychological manipulation. Her journey from heiress to revolutionary and back again continues to fascinate and provoke discussion. Thanks for watching. Please comment, share, like, and subscribe for future episodes from the Calendar of Crime.